for our Wellness Wednesday. So I'm going to jump right into it today and introduce our very special guest speaker, and that is Dr. Ginger Decker. And Dr. Ginger has been in the industry for over 20 years. She has been implementing mind-body connection, super nutrition, and detoxification to alter the body's environment for total health and wellness. She is recognised internationally as an author and has appeared on the Dr. Oz Show, Fox News, and the Sam Sorbo Show. She's a former instructor at the Hippocrates Health Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, where she taught nutrition and digestive and metabolic physiology, and now spends her time educating others to balance their bodies and resolve weight and health challenges. So she's the perfect person to talk to us today and share some information on the key vitamins and nutrients which support weight loss. So a big Aussie welcome for Dr. Ginger Decker.
There we go. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you all. So, how are you doing? Good? I'm hearing a lot of crazy things going on over there. So I'm glad to see all these beautiful smiling faces, happy looking faces. So we're going to share with you tonight a little bit about balancing the body, really. That's what it comes down to. So whether it's weight loss, whether it's a health challenge, whether it's even your state of mind, right? Depression, anxiety, anything like that. If we get the body in balance, that's when you're going to start to see success. So a lot of what I do now and a lot of what I teach comes from when I taught at the Healing Center that she mentioned earlier. So I want to kind of review some kind of big, kind of major things that they do at healing centers to get the body balanced, kind of no matter what your health challenge is. Number one, give the body and support the immune system with super nutrition, right? Boost the immune system with super nutrition. That kind of makes sense, right? Number two, though, on the other end of the spectrum is we need to detoxify the body and get rid of known toxins that are prohibiting us from being our best in so many different areas, no matter what that is, whether that's weight loss, whether that's hormone balance, whether that's an autoimmune disease. You can name all kinds of things, but it's basically those two things. If we can do those, that's when the body starts to respond. As it relates to weight loss, and I know we have a lot of women on here as well, so I also want to talk hormones. As it relates to that, there's some tools that you can utilize. And interestingly, some of these tools were individual ingredients that I used to use at the Healing Center. So you're very lucky to have the products that we have now with New Age to help you along the way, because they are the things that we utilized on an individual basis at the Healing Center. So if we just start off with the Slender Eyes drops, you all, I'm sure, are familiar with that, right? Your day and night drops. In different parts of the world, we have a couple different ones here. We have our Slender X and Accelerate, but you guys have the day and night drops. And I want to explain just a little bit about either one, because you'll experience probably both of them throughout the world as you perhaps are building your business. But basically what they are doing is the same thing. With your day drops, you are helping to control the appetite, increase satiety, boost your metabolism. You are creating a positive effect on the hormones that are especially associated with craving and hunger. And they also aid in digestion. The night drops kind of do some other things. They have some adaptogenic herbs in them. Have you heard that term before, adaptogenic herbs? Adaptogenic herbs basically help the body adapt to stress, to break down that word. And so it's going to help decrease stress, decrease insulin, right? Which is the hormone that comes out when you're in fat storage mode, right? That you don't want to be in, right? And so we want to help bring that down. It's also the hormone that you're probably familiar with people who have diabetes. They have to watch the insulin, right? But you also need to watch your insulin even if you don't have diabetes. So when it comes to weight loss, you don't want your insulin spiking. Insulin will spike when you've had sugars and carbs, right? So we want to get control of that. So if you're diabetic, this is great. If you're not diabetic, but you just want to lose weight, whether that's hundreds of pounds or whether you're someone who's slimmer but wants to get that definition, we have a lot of fitness competitors and athletes using the day and night drops to get that definition and that ripped look, right? So all of that. In addition, the adaptogenic herbs will help you with sleep, which is very important. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on there. If we talk about some of the ingredients, for example, when I talked about the adaptogenic herbs, just so you're familiar with what those are, those ingredients in the day and night, it would be the night drops. We have holy basil powder, we have astragalus root, and we have L-theanine, and all of those are fantastic from the anti-stress, anxiety, bringing down cortisol. Are you familiar with that hormone? Cortisol is your stress hormone. So when you bring down cortisol, you feel good. But here's an interesting thing that, and I try to make things really easy, but you have to get a little bit of education under your belt so it makes sense. Because when it makes sense, then you're going to want to do it, right? So when we talk about cortisol, your stress hormone, which we're going to bring down utilizing the day and night drops, did you know that your cortisol, your stress hormone, and insulin run together? So insulin, we mentioned, is the one that spikes, when you eat sugar and carbs. It's the one that diabetics are looking for. It's the one you want to bring down. But guess what? Even if you haven't had any sugar or carbs, but you're stressed, guess what? Your insulin also goes up just from stress. So I like to kind of explain it as cortisol and insulin run together. It's kind of like big sister, little sister. If you're a big sister and you have a little sister, do you remember when you were younger and your little sister always wanted to follow you around and do whatever you did, right? So cortisol and insulin, they run together. So if we can bring down your cortisol, automatically your insulin is going to come down as well. And that's going to help you with weight loss. That's going to help you balance your blood sugar. So it's fantastic that this product can help you do that. You're also going to feel amazing, right? Because when you bring down your stress, you feel good. So whether that's depression, anxiety, any kind of stress, this is definitely a tool, a product that you can utilize to help you with that. So I love how it's positively affecting the hormones and bringing them back into balance. And I will tell you that aside from giving your body super nutrition to boost your immune system and detoxifying, right along there with that is hormone balance. And you don't have to be an endocrinologist, someone who studies hormones, to understand and to bring all that back in balance. You have the tools right here to do that, whether you know it or not. You might not even want to know all this information, but if you hear it once, you know these products can help you rebalance. And that's what we utilize this for. This is a tool. All right. So yes, and someone put in today's world. In today's world, we definitely need that balance, right? We definitely need that hormone balance. And so you've got those tools to help you. All right. So we also in the day drops, let's talk a little bit about the day drops. So we're controlling the appetite, increasing satiety, meaning you're feeling full and comfortable, right? And decreasing hunger and cravings. We've got the fructooligosaccharides. Have you heard that term before? We've got that going on in the white kidney bean extract, and that contributes to decreasing or creating a slow carbohydrate absorption, kind of balancing that. We mentioned earlier the holy basil powder and all of that as it relates to stress. We've got green coffee extract and guarana seed extract also to boost the metabolism. We've got biotin, chromium, and cinnamon, which in terms of fat burning and balancing the blood sugar. So all of the necessary ingredients all together. Cinnamon is a fantastic ingredient, again, for diabetics as well. So if you're dealing with anyone with diabetics, I know over here when I work with someone, I put them on the Slenderize drops, even if they don't need to lose weight, just to do a quick, month's worth of rebalancing. But especially with the diabetic, you can help get their blood sugars under control in literally 30 to 60 days. Cinnamon is very good at balancing the blood sugar. So we put that in there as well. So if you ever have an opportunity to add cinnamon to anything that you're making as far as your foods go, definitely do that, because that will help with weight loss and diabetic in terms of balancing the blood sugar. So that's what we have going on with these Slenderize drops. Now, of course, we want to make sure that we're eating the proper foods, and the Slenderize program comes with an amazing food list, and you won't feel deprived. You can make all kinds of fun desserts, all kinds of amazing foods that you're used to eating. We're just going to swap out the ingredients with healthy ingredients so that you can feel satisfied. And again, the drops are going to really help you accomplish that goal. So I don't know what you all have as far as maybe private groups where you do recipes and do a little teaching and put product information in, but definitely make sure that you get some of the recipes that we have. And we actually have a Slenderize approved recipe book. It's like a PDF on, you know, it's not like a book, but it's like a PDF that we can get to you all with all kinds of recipes that different leaders all over the world contributed to. So if you don't have that in your arsenal, we definitely need to get that to you. But I encourage you to go through the food list and create some recipes as well. One of the things that a lot of people struggle with is they feel like they have to deprive themselves to lose weight. Now, of course, you don't want to be gorging yourself, right? That's not going to work, but you need nutrition in order to lose weight. In fact, we have oftentimes a lot of people use the Slenderize drops, and maybe they're taking the Optimals, our vitamins and minerals, along with some of our other products, and maybe they've reached their goal with their weight, and they just continue to take the nutrition side of it, and they continue to lose weight. Nutrition makes you satisfied, so you're not running around hungry all the time. So that's why I always encourage you to have some good supplementation, because we're not getting everything that we need nutritionally from our food, right? Our food is grown improperly. We cook our food and destroy nutrients. You know, our food is sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, that destroys nutrients. And then also a lot of people take medications, and all medications deplete certain nutrients from the body. So we have to supplement with clean products. And that's what I love. And that's why I'm involved with this company, because their philosophy when it comes to products is no compromise. So we don't use the typical fillers, binders, lubricants. We find food-based alternatives. We've got tons of certifications. In fact, one of our most recent one is called the Cologne List. Are you familiar with that? It's one of the world's most leading independent scientific labs that analyzes, and it's at the Olympic level. And we have 33 of our Nutrify products that are part of the Cologne List. Now, it's a very, very respected certification, along with all the other certifications that we've had. In fact, I challenge you to find another company that has more certifications than what we have with under our umbrella. And that's kind of how I look at our products, is under our umbrella, we have these different categories of products that relate to holistic health. And so as you're kind of going through your health journey and sharing the education and even the products with people, what you'll discover is not everyone's ready to drop everything and change everything in their life. And that's totally understandable. But we start them for perhaps with the drops and some of the other products, and they start learning and get educated and starting to get results. And then they'll realize that, you know what? Hey, I need to, you know, start cleaning up my water, and they look at the water bottle. You know, skincare. We've got great non-toxic skincare, and that's important because the chemicals that we put on our skin get in our system. And so we have what I'll call all the clean solutions to people when they're ready to start making changes in different areas of their life. Because a lot of people sometimes maybe hear a talk and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to change everything that I'm doing. I feel overwhelmed. And I tell people, pick one or two or maybe three things that we've talked about and just start making these baby changes. And as you start to learn, you're going to want to make more changes. And then the other thing is, teach people about redirecting their spending, right? So women, of course, are buying all kinds of skincare products, not realizing they're loaded with chemicals and toxins, many of which are banned in other countries. I know, and I'm very proud of Australia. You all do not let hydroquinone come in there, come in that country, because hydroquinone is a cancer-causing ingredient that's found in a lot of skincare products. We don't use it in our Lucem line purposely because we know the dangers of it. But as women start to learn about the toxins that they're putting on their skin, many of which are hormone disruptors, just think cancer-causing ingredients, we have to teach them, hey, you're spending a lot of money for this high-end stuff that's literally poisoning you. Let's redirect that spending to something that's non-toxic and is going to bring you good health. So that's kind of how I share kind of turning around your whole health and your whole life. Is you're probably spending money in these areas, but you're spending on products that you don't really know what they're doing to your body. And so we've got the clean solutions for you. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've got the Slenderize drops, and you can start to incorporate, like I said, the Optimals, which are our whole foods vitamins and minerals, and some of the other nutritionals, because we need that extra nutrition that we're lacking from our food. And I mentioned all of that. But when it comes to detoxification, this is another product that I want to mention, and it's actually one of the ones that when I first looked at this company, they had this product. This isn't a brand new one, but it's a good one, and it'll probably be around for a long time. When it comes to detoxification of the body, it's very important. It's kind of like peeling away the layers of an onion, right? So all the decades that we spent on this planet, we don't realize all the ways that we're toxifying our body. And so when we start to learn, we need to start to eliminate those known toxins. So when I taught at the Healing Center, detoxification was a huge part of the protocol. And kind of like phase one of detoxification is, let's clean up your diet. Let's clean up the foods and the liquids that you're consuming, right? When you start to do that, it's like your body says, oh my gosh, you're not shoveling on, drinking all this garbage and making me store all these toxins. And do you know where your body stores the toxins that it doesn't readily eliminate? Your fat cells. So I always say, think of your fat cells as suitcases. Now they're full of fatty acids, but they're also full of toxins that your body can't get rid of. So as you start to lose weight, the suitcases open up and the toxins start to come out, right? And you need a way to pull those toxins from the body at a fast pace. So at the Healing Center that I worked at, most people weren't there for weight loss. It was more for, different health challenges that they had. But whether it's autoimmune cancer or whatever it is, people have toxins in their body. And so we would utilize spirulina and chlorella and activated charcoal and these different ingredients to pull different things from the body. And I love that our Restorix has all of those things in one product. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is ingenious, because we used to have like a jar of spirulina, a box of chlorella. We used to have these individual ingredients that we would share with people for various, detoxification modes and methods. But Restorix has it all, as well as micronized zeolite. So these individual ingredients, it's a powder. If you haven't experienced it, I highly recommend it. It's a powder. It's not the sexiest product, I'll just say that, but it's a powder that you just mix in water and you just drink it down. And think of it as a magnetic scrubber going through your body, and it's a honeycomb structure, and it's pulling in the opposite charge, which is the toxin, ready for elimination. It's fantastic at pulling out heavy metals, pesticides, radiation. In fact, the chlorella is the radiation magnet. Chlorella is one of those blue-green algae. And I know when I taught at the Healing Center, when people would come in and, different people had done different things before they came in. Maybe they had skin cancer and they had radiation. Well, the radiation's still in the body. So chlorella is fantastic at pulling out the radiation. So I love that all of these ingredients are all in this one product. I take this daily. There's a couple different ways to take it. I like to take it at night because my kind of thought process is, I'm going to detox while I'm sleeping, right? The little magnetic scrubber can go through my body and get rid of the toxins, ready for elimination, if you know what I mean, in the morning. So I take it at night. I know Deanna takes hers in the morning. The other thing that I'll point out, I love the taste of it. Some people aren't that excited about the taste. So what I'll point out is you can actually do a scoop, maybe put it in a smaller little container and do a little scoop with just a little bit of cinnamon in there. And then you can mix it in some water and drink it down. And the cinnamon usually tastes good to most people. So I think you'll find that that's an easy way to do it. The other thing about this product, aside from helping to detoxify the body, which is fantastic at the start of a weight loss journey, but if someone doesn't utilize it from the start, you can pick this up if you've reached a plateau, and that will help you get off that plateau. The other thing is for athletes. Athletes love this product because it helps to pull the lactic acid, which is the that soreness in the muscles that they experience, or maybe you've experienced, maybe on your journey back to health on day 3 or 4, you're like, I can't even stand up or sit, get up because I'm so sore from working out. Well, that's the soreness from the lactic acid buildup, and the Restorix literally pulls that lactic acid from the muscles. So it's a great recovery product. Couple other ways to utilize this. All of our products are very multifunctional, as you'll discover, but Restorix, you can use it to brush your teeth with, and it will whiten your teeth. The activated charcoal whitens your teeth. Now, I don't recommend mixing it in with your toothpaste. Brush your teeth first, but then you can utilize this, brush your teeth with it, and then swallow it, right? And let it do its inside job as well. One other way that you can utilize this is you can make a mud mask out of it. So from an anti-aging kind of beauty aspect, just put a little bit of water on it, put it in your face. It will pull the impurities from your skin as well. So it's a very multifunctional, very fun product. It's definitely a product that I recommend in this world, especially today with what we're dealing with, to pull out toxins from the body that we're all coming in contact with. And so that's part of also a great weight loss protocol as well. So these are 2 of the many products that you have access to. And I will throw it back to you, Paula, with any questions or any additional things you'd like me to cover.
Wow. I'm just sitting here, yes, yes. Oh, I need to do that. I need to. Thank you so much, Dr. Ginger. We loved what we heard, but there were a couple of questions. They were a
Sure.
little ways back. So what we might do is get anyone who has a question to raise their hand or type it in the comments now. And when you raise your hand, we'll call on you and you can unmute and ask the question. Jane, I see you've got your hand up if you'd like to ask a question.
Hello, Dr. Ginger. How are you?
Hi, I'm fantastic, Jane.
I've just got I take Restorix every single day as well, every morning, along with my warm lemon juice. I've just got a question about Restorix. I was told that you can't stir it with metal spoon. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would definitely stay away from that. And the other thing that I didn't point out that it does say on the bottle is you want to separate it a minimum of 2 hours away from any medications.
Yep.
Right.
I've just with the metal spoon scenario, or what? Why is that exactly?
It pulls heavy metals, so just keeping it
Okay.
away from metals is the best way to do it. Yeah, just put it in a little, like I put it in a little mason jar.
Okay.
Put it in a mason jar and put the top on and just shake it up.
Okay. It just that because it's not on the packaging, often I find I've forgotten to tell the customers, and then they've been stirring with the.
I mean, it's not a huge deal. I mean, you know, if we get too picky with things, people are like, ah, that's too much to do. But if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, yeah, you know, if you want to do things absolutely perfect, yeah, I would definitely say.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
We have a question from Neroli. Say, how often do you recommend having Restorix?
You can have it every day. You can have it every day. Now, some people use it in spurts, you know, different periods of time, but it's something that I take it every night.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Deanna takes it every day too. So yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're encountering toxins left and right, so it's just a great product to, again, peel away the layers of the onion, right?
Yes.
I love seeing all these people here. These ladies.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading through. In the second week, Natalie Martin, did you have? I can see one message here. In the second week, he had heart palpitations. Is it possible an allergic reaction was triggered in the second week? Would that be from the Restorix? Is that what you're talking about, Nat?
No, there's no contraindications. There's no side effects from any of these ingredients.
Okay.
Something else going on.
Yeah, Kim said she gave it to a dog when she was feeling sick, worked well. We've got Neroli here with a hand up. So Neroli, if you'd like to unmute.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted clarification with using the Restorix every day. So I was doing that, but then I'd heard other medical people suggest maybe you need to give your body a break. So maybe do it once every 3 months for a month. What do you think about that?
You can if you want. Like I said, some people do cycle it. I don't. I take it every night. I know Deanna takes it every day as well, so you don't have to. But some people choose to cycle it and use it, you know, when they've hit, like I said, like a weight loss plateau, or, you know, someone who's really toxic, maybe has a lot of health challenges, but they'd want to use it for an extended period of time. So it's kind of working into however you want.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And we have Linda. Linda, if you'd like to unmute.
Yep, great. Thanks. Thank you, Ginger, for all the information you've said. And I can definitely vouch, being type 1 diabetic for 35 years, and since commencing the drops, my HbA1c levels have dropped and I'm the best I've ever been. So that's been fantastic. So I could relate to that. And using the Restorix, I've just started the Restorix thanks to Paula and Amanda recommending that for me, just to restart, because I had plateaued. So exactly what you'd said, had plateaued with my weight loss. So that's kickstarted that again, which is great. Yay. I just had a question with your discussion around the cortisol or the cortisol levels, and how you recommend the drops just for a month to reset. Is there an issue if this person, I have a particular customer in that situation, but she definitely cannot lose any weight? would that be an issue with using the drops just to reduce the cortisol levels, or would we have a different product that we would recommend in that instance?
No, you can utilize that for sure. I would also incorporate some Elite, the Elite. You're familiar with the Elite?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I have that down here somewhere in my bag.
Yes, I did. Yeah, did speak to her about that and passed on all the info on the Elite, because I'm using the Elite as well, which is great. And also, if she was to use that for a month, does that keep the levels at bay, or no, it's suggested to use the drops ongoing? I know you said that the night drops would help with those levels.
You know, it depends on how she progresses, right? She'll have to just sort of experiment with it and play around with it, for sure. The other thing that I didn't mention, and this has nothing really to do with products, but timing of when you eat and how many meals are you eating. From a weight loss perspective, both of those things are very important, and both of those things will affect your hormones, either good or bad. So if you, what I always recommend, I'm sure you've heard the terms intermittent fasting, right? Intermittent fasting, and all that relates to is when you're eating and the timing that you're eating. So I always start people with, okay, if you're eating like all throughout the day, kind of nibbling, what happens is, from a hormone standpoint, is you're spiking your insulin all day long. Even if you're not eating sugar, but you're eating healthy food, every time you eat, you do raise your insulin a little bit. But the idea is you don't want it spiking all day long, right? So if you're nibbling all day, doing 3 meals a day and snacks in between, and you're struggling with your weight, well, that's probably the reason why right there, in addition to your hormones being out of whack because of that. So kind of phase 1 is 3 meals a day, no snacks, and just be strict with it. Your meals can be very satisfying, some good healthy fats to keep you satiated in between. The drops will definitely help you with that as well. But step 1 is 3 meals a day, no snacks. Step 2 would be, hey, let's push your breakfast into your lunch and just do 2 meals a day. So you're having lunch and dinner, and then so your dinner and then you're sleeping, you're technically fasting. You're going to push your breakfast, forward a little bit more. And so you've got a longer period where you're fasting. Now at the Healing Center, what we would do is 1 day a week, there would be a 24-hour fast, just 1 day a week. Of course, people will lose weight on that if that's what you're looking for. But what it does to your body is so many amazing things. From a healing perspective, it's very healing, because what happens is once you get past a certain period of time in your quote fast, and utilizing sleep as part of that, right? That makes it a lot easier, right? Because you're hopefully 8 hours of that is you sleeping. But what happens is your body goes into something called, have you heard this term, autophagy? You just break down the word autophagy. Auto means self, phagy means eat. Think of it like a little Pac-Man going through your body. Once you stop consuming a lot of food and you're fasting, going through your body, eating up the dead cells, the dead parts of cells, starts to recycle. It's a very therapeutic. It extends your life. It cleans up a lot of stuff that doesn't get cleaned up, because normally most people are just eating and drinking all day long and not giving the body that fasting rest. So if the idea of just doing 2 meals a day is too much, do 3 meals a day, no snacks. That way you're fasting in between, and then your longest fast is from dinner till breakfast. But then once you've gotten used to that, push it a little bit. We all can push it a little bit, right? And start trying to incorporate at least, 2 days a week, do 2 meals a day. And the meals can be a little bit bigger, but if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want them too big, right? But what you'll find, especially if you're incorporating healthy fats, is that you're satisfied, you have more energy, and your body, those dead cells and those dead parts and all the recycling taking place from a healing perspective is very therapeutic. And you'll find aches and pains and all kinds of stuff start to resolve. It's a very popular kind of trendy thing right now, but it's been around literally all throughout the ages. Fasting has been a huge part of probably every culture, but from a healing therapeutic perspective, it's a very good thing. Now, kind of phase 3 would be what they call OMAD, 1 meal a day, OMAD, 1 meal a day, where you're having one very large meal, but then a day, and you're giving your body even longer fast. That's a more advanced move. So don't try that from the start. Start with the beginning and kind of push it. But for those that want to push it a little bit more and do 1 meal a day, you can do that. Now, if you incorporate any of those kind of phases with our products, maybe you've reached kind of a plateau and you're like, I got to shake things up a little bit. The timing of your eating will make a huge difference, because you're positively affecting your hormones in so many ways, especially insulin. And we know how insulin and cortisol come to it all comes together. Now, the other thing I want to point out as it relates to hormones, whether you're male or female, your cortisol, your insulin, your thyroid, because we're positively affecting thyroid hormone as well. All of those hormones are kind of what I guess I'll call more superior hormones, and they have a cascade effect on your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, right? Your male and female hormones. So if you're having issues going through menopause, or you're having testosterone issues, or any of that, getting these other hormones in control, because they're more superior, can have a positive effect on those. And I can't tell you how many women, the 8 years that I've been working with the drops in the program, perimenopause age, going through hot flashes and all the crazy stuff, went on the program utilizing the drops. And because we got the major hormones in control that had a positive effect on their other hormones, they tell us their hot flashes have gone away. Right? And that makes perfect sense. Hot flashes are normal today, but they're totally not natural. We're not supposed to have those. We have those because our body is out of balance. And we have adrenal burnout and all kind. I could go on a whole other tangent. But the bottom line is, despite all that crazy education, these are an amazing tool to balance all of those things. And you will find feedback, whether it's from you or the people you're sharing this with, on all kinds of things that you don't even expect, just by getting them on a program that's rebalancing. Make sense?
Wow.
I
need to get back on drops. Okay, I have a question here before I grab a raised hand. How long after cancer treatment can you start Restorix to rid the radiation?
I would start right away. Right away. Yeah.
Okay, Amanda, you've got your hand up, hon, if you want to unmute.
Yeah, I've actually got quite a few customers in the States, and I quite often get asked how the two compare, ours and yours. For example, you say the night drops and the ingredients that help with the lowering of the cortisol. So what are those in yours?
So we have ashwagandha and rhodiola, two herbs that are in the Accelerate, which would be equivalent to, I guess, what your night drops, except that we don't take this at night. We take this in the morning and lunch, because in addition in this are B12, the methylated B12, and green tea extract. So that tends to give you energy. So what we do is we have the homeopathic remedy you do 3 times a day. Mm-hmm. And this one you just do twice a day, because what we found is if you do it 3 times a day, you might be up, because B12 gives you energy. Yeah, right. And so the ashwagandha and rhodiola lower the cortisol. Yeah.
Okay,
and then
great.
The homeopathic remedy does a lot of the other stuff that the day drops do for you all. So the final result is the same. It's just because different countries allow different ingredients or don't allow different ingredients, we have different formulas.
Sure. Thank you.
Perfect. Is Restorix as effective when taken with juice?
I prefer just to take it with water, but for a lot of people, they mix it with something else because they don't care for the taste. I'll tell you what I actually do. I get my mouth wet with some water. I get the scoop. I put the scoop of powder on my mouth and I just swallow it. I drink it down with some. That's how I do it. Now you have to be careful, because if you take a breath, you could choke on the powder. So you have to be really careful. But I actually like the taste. So when I'm in a hurry, I just do a quick shot of it. But you got to be careful, because you can gag it. And anyway, I probably shouldn't have told you that, but that's how I take it.
I end up with lumps and I still have to break them up in my mouth. So I guess it's a little the same.
Yeah, I think it tastes great.
Yeah.
Remember, you can add cinnamon to it if you don't like how it tastes.
Yeah. Lata said, I have Hashimoto and struggling to lose weight, and my antibodies are high, but have been taking both these products. What is best for bringing antibodies down?
So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune, meaning auto meaning self, immune meaning immune system. So the body's attacking itself. And the Hashimoto relates to thyroiditis, relates to the thyroid. So sluggish thyroid, kind of like a hypothyroidism, but this one is related more to the autoimmune aspect of it, as opposed to many other reasons that people have low thyroid. So what we need to do, again, is twofold. The body, we have to strengthen the immune system with super nutrition, right? I mentioned that in the beginning. And we have to get rid of the toxins that the body is freaking out about, right? So under the umbrella of autoimmune disease, there's lots of them. There's rheumatoid arthritis, right, which is in the hands. There's multiple sclerosis, there's fibromyalgia, there's Hashimoto's. They're all under the umbrella of autoimmune disease. Basically, the body is attacking itself, and the signs and symptoms dictate what the name is, right? And so Hashimoto's has its set of symptoms. So if we can strengthen the immune system with super nutrition, right, and we can get rid of the toxins that's making the body freak out, that's when we get relief from the autoimmune side of things. As it relates to the thyroid, I love the drops, whether the day and night or the Slender Eyes, because they're fantastic at balancing all of those other hormones that, because think of our body and our hormones as a spider web. They're all connected, right? We talked about cortisol and insulin, right? Thyroid and adrenal. I mean, there's so many connections. So if we can get the other hormones balanced, it's going to have a positive effect on the thyroid. And that's why we get such amazing results. So stick with the program. But remember to get rid of the toxins, and this will help detoxify, but we still have to get rid of the plugins, the aerosol sprays, the scented candles, the toxins in our skincare. We're getting in our water, we're getting toxins every which way. And so we have to start to eliminate those things. So if you're not seeing results with an autoimmune health challenge, start picking apart your life and find out the toxins that your body could be freaking out at. Make sense?
Perfect. Abby, you've got your hand up. Abby?
Hello, Dr. Ginger.
There you are.
So myself and my husband are both on the drops at the moment, and he's a type 1 diabetic, has been for 27 years. I've been really hesitant to recommend it to diabetics that don't have a pump. His HbA1c was already at 5.5, so he's been a perfect diabetic for quite some time. But being that it's got the carb blocker in it, I've always sort of been really hesitant to say, because like he's been on Restorix and things like that, where I've seen on his pump that it doesn't it doesn't affect his insulin levels.
Right.
Whereas having that white kidney bean in there, that does affect the carb absorption. So I've been really hesitant to recommend it to a type 1 diabetic, unless if they've got a pump and they really have their diabetes under control, because I'm worried that, it could actually be detrimental to their health rather than, no.
We don't have any contraindications on the drops, meaning we don't have any, other than someone who's pregnant shouldn't be using the drops. But other than that, there's no issue. I actually love hearing that we have positive responses back from some type 1. So there's type 1 diabetes, which is an insulin issue, like from the system. And then there's type 2, which is lifestyle oriented. We get results with either type 1 or type 2. We hear more about the type 2 than the type 1, but there shouldn't be any issues. Even though type 1 may not be totally healed in the end, we can dramatically improve with the program. And keep in mind, it's not just the drops. You're also on an eating program. So as far as insulin spikes and all that, it can be balanced. So I wouldn't worry so much about that.
Yeah, it was something that I just know from him being a type 1 diabetic for 27 years.
Right.
So I've been his carer for the whole time we've been together. And so we do intermittent fasting. We only eat between 10:30 and 6:30.
There you go.
Which has been really good for his insulin resistance.
Absolutely.
too. But yeah, just with the drops, this was the first time I've ever put anyone that was a type 1 on drops, and that carb blocker, I was like, oh, so I've been watching his pump like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I would definitely monitor and write down and kind of see what kind of results you get. But from a company standpoint, like I said, we don't have any contraindications with that. In fact, when I used to teach at the Healing Center, we had great success without actually the drops with type 1 diabetics, just from diet structure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome.
Right. Beautiful.
Well, it'll be exciting to hear what kind of results you get.
Oh yeah, he's actually we're actually smashing the challenge, which is great.
Yay.
Yeah.
There's a challenge, a couple of challenges going on here in Australia, Dr. Ginger, with the weight loss and using the drops, etc. So yeah, they're great results being had by all. Okay, so another one. Can you still take the Elite, Restorix, and Optimals in your fasting window if doing intermittent fasting?
The Elite, Restorix, and what was the other?
And Optimals.
So what I would do is take I mean, you can drink the Elite during your fasting if you want to, but what I would do when I do the fasting is I have my meal and take all of my supplements. I kind of do all of that together, right? And then do the fasting window. So that's what I would recommend. But if you have to have something, you can have a glass of Elite. It's not like it's going to kill you. But what I'd like to see is 3 meals a day, no snacks. So have an Elite with your meal, right? And drink that and have your supplements, and then do your Restorix, whether you do it first thing in the morning or do it at the end of the day. But I would do any kind of drink or eating within your meals.
Okay.
Right. And when you break that down into 2 meals, or even if you do an OMAD, a 1 meal a day, 1 day a week or something, the meals seem quite large and you're like, I don't know if I can eat all this, but you eat it, you're full for a long time, and you can go longer, especially if you're using avocados and some good healthy fats. So just play around with it. Don't go extreme from the beginning. Just inch yourself into it. You'll get used to it. Your body will get used to it, because the first time you do it, those sugar cravings are going to be like, feed me, right? And so we've got to nip those in the bud. And of course, the drops will help with that. But the timing of your eating is huge, as it has a huge impact on your weight loss or weight gain, as well as your hormones, as well as, honestly, rebalancing the body and recovering from any kind of health challenge. So it does make a huge effect. Do some research on your own, on intermittent fasting, on fasting, on, as it relates to health and healing, longevity, beauty, all of that.
If customers are on medication for thyroid, are the drops okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Don't see any other hands, so I have to keep going through. I'm so sorry. Because people are commenting on people's
And when you're working with someone who's on medications, we always tell people, we don't treat, diagnose, or cure. Of course, work with your doctor. But if you're on some medications that you're like, I know these are from my lifestyle, I want to get off these medications, let your doctor know, hey, I'm going to do my part at home in a program. My goal is to get off these medications. I need you to help me. When my measurements, numbers, blood pressure, whatever it is you're looking at gets to a certain point, I need you to work with me and start backing off these medications. Are you willing to do that? So get your doctor involved in that and let them know you're doing your part at home. They need to do their part to wean you off some of these meds. Make sense?
Perfect. Debbie, your hand is up. You're still muted though, Debbie. There you are.
Sorry. Hello, Dr. Ginger. Thank you so much for being on. I really, really appreciate your time. Actually, you probably nearly answered my question. Just with medications, I was just going to ask you to go a bit more into explaining, please, the window. So if we've got someone who's on serious medications, then 2 hours before or after?
2 hours apart. So if you take your medication, wait a minimum of 2 hours before you use Restorix.
Okay.
Right, apart. Yeah. So if you take your medications in the morning, what I would say is just do your Restorix at night, or vice versa. Or if you take morning and evening, do your Restorix in the middle of the day. Just separate them by a few hours.
Okay.
Make
yeah,
sense?
I've just got some older parents that just seeing some things going on and just trying to talk them through it. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Marianne? You're on mute, Marianne.
Oh, I thought I'd
There you are.
unmute. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Ginger. I just wanted to ask you about rheumatoid arthritis. You said that the drops were good. I just wondered what else you'd suggest.
So in fact, I have a very good friend who's actually on my team who had rheumatoid arthritis a year and a half ago. Couldn't open a jar, nothing. Her knuckles kind of look like this. She has no issues now. She went on the program, initially just started off with the drops, Rejuvenex and MOA. Now I think she uses everything. She ended up, to this day, she's almost at 100 pounds lost. She's off all her medications, I think, except for a little bit of thyroid medication, which has been brought down to its lowest amount. And her rheumatoid arthritis, I mean, she says it's gone. So again, balancing the body. Rheumatoid arthritis is autoimmune. So we've got to get the toxins out of the system. It's not you take this one product or even take this one drug and it's going to fix you. It's the whole body, right? So we got to get the body alkaline, which the program does. We got to get as many toxins out of the body as you can. We got to boost the immune system, right? Your body needs that, autoimmune. And for you, it just happened to settle in the joints, right? That's why it's called rheumatoid arthritis. But it's the same protocol for any autoimmune. And this protocol, as you'll discover, you'll hear all kinds of health challenges start to resolve. And we don't treat, diagnose, or cure, but you give your body the proper tools it does know what to do. So Marianne, if you stick with the program, you should start to see some results pretty quickly, I would think.
Well, it's actually a friend, a girl that I know. And,
Okay.
I didn't even, I've just started the program, really.
Awesome.
Weeks
Well,
ago.
invite her to join your group.
I'm still learning. But,
It's definitely doable. We've seen RA many, many times. People get some great positive feedback with that. So
I didn't even think to suggest to her, but I know I've heard that her rheumatoid arthritis is so bad and she's got 5 kids homeschooling. We're in Victoria, and we're in lockdown still, and so she can hardly walk. She can hardly open a door and things like that. So you think that the drops would be great for her?
Drops, the Restorex. I mean, getting on some good nutritionals too. I mean, I don't know budget wise what she can do, but drops, Restorex, and if she can throw in some MOA or the Optimals, some from a nutrition side.
We don't have MOA here,
you don't?
Dr. Ginger. No.
How about Noni? Do you have Noni?
We do. We do.
Oh, okay. That's one of my the Tahitian Noni is one of my new favorite products.
Yes,
I love that Noni fruit. Oh my gosh, the studies. It's in the PDR, the physician's desk reference. It's anti-inflammatory, has antiviral properties. I don't know. You guys get the big bottle, Paula?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. So my husband and I don't drink, but it looks like a wine bottle. So every night at dinner, we pour like a half a glass into a glass of wine and have that with our dinner.
I like that.
That's great. And the Elite as well, would that be good for her?
Yeah, absolutely. Stress.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Plus Elite also has astaxanthin, which is one of those potent antioxidants. So from an immune system standpoint, it has ingredients for the skin, for beauty. And it's a great way, people say, oh, I can't just drink plain water. Well, Elite tastes delicious. So it's a great way to get people to drink more water.
Yes. Oh, excellent. And just one more question quickly. Sorry. My sister had cancer earlier on, like probably a year or so ago, and she's on medication. So I think she's sort of like, I don't know if how I'd go on the products, but you think that would be all right?
So there's no what's called contraindications with any of our products, except I mentioned the drops. Someone who's pregnant doesn't need to be losing weight and detoxing, right, while they're pregnant. Other than that, our products are nutrition. They're going to give to the body. They're not going to interact with anything and be, Restorex, we talked about taking 2 hours from any meds, but this is a detox. So this is going to contribute. So no, anyone who's had cancer, who has cancer, there's no intermixing or anything bad. I mean, what they're lacking if they have cancer is nutrition. They're also have toxins in their body that their body's reacting to. So the program in general, without even, thinking about the cancer side, will give you a positive result because we're giving to the body. We're not taking from the body.
Fantastic. And I love the Restorex. I have that every night as well.
Awesome, Marianne.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Louise, we'll have a couple more questions and then we'll let Dr. Ginger go.
No, I'm good.
Oh, good.
My husband's out of town, so I'm good. I don't have anyone to deal with. So
Hi, Dr. Ginger. How are you going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Louise?
Just with your fasting, your meal times, what times do you recommend for the 3 meals each day? If you were just to do the 3 meals, what time would you recommend for that?
You know what? It depends on your schedule. What time you get up.
Yep.
And what time you go to bed. I mean, I would say I wouldn't eat past, personally me past 6, but sometimes when people socialize, you go out to eat. So it might have to be adjusted based on your social schedule, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I would get a notebook and kind of keep track and plan out. Okay, I'm planning on going out with some friends this weekend, so I'm going to do my, 1 meal a day earlier in the week, or I'm going to, you just do it based around your schedule. So don't make it so hard and fast that you can't do it because, I can't do this. I can't go out and eat with people. You can, you just work your schedule around that. So,
so if you were doing your 3 meals a day, do you have a recommended time frame in between each meal rather than time?
3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear.
Jane.
Hey, Dr. Ginger. I just got a question on the 16-8 intermittent fasting, because I do that as well 3 to 4 days a week. But I have the shakes as my morning tea. Is that still classified as intermittent fasting?
The shakes, no, that would be a meal.
Okay.
So when I do intermittent fasting and I'm having a meal, but I also want to have a shake, that's like my dessert.
Okay.
And sometimes, like I said, sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much food. But once you get it in your system, it's going to satisfy you for so long. So, you don't have to eat so much that you feel like you're stuffed. But if you're going to do a meal, if you're going to do a shake, either make it in place of a meal or do it with the meal. I wouldn't use that, because technically there's a lot of like food in there, right? The only thing that I would consider when you're fasting that you can utilize is a broth, because that's full of electrolytes, water or some herbal teas or something like that. I know some people do coffee. I've actually never had coffee because I don't like what it smells like. So I don't usually mention that, but I know I need to mention it because I'm a little weird because most people have had coffee. So some people do utilize that, but it's very acidic to the body as well. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful I don't like the taste, because I'd probably be one of those people that drink a lot of it.
Teresa.
Hello, Dr. Ginger. Thank you for today. You are amazing. I love your stuff. I love your work. I love following you. Can you tell I'm just an admirer, not a stalker? Quick question. My friend was in a car accident and she's had some neck injury, obviously from the whiplash. What product she's on the Elite. What other product can you recommend to help with the healing process, please?
So I would say the Noni would be fantastic because it's anti-inflammatory, right? Plus she'll get the immune boosting properties as well. We have anecdotally had a lot of feedback from people with Noni and pain as well. So if she's experiencing pain, I can't guarantee anything, but I'll tell you, I've recommended that product to people and they come back and they tell me about pains that they didn't tell me about before that have gone away. My husband experienced the same thing with some knee issues, drinking Noni. Now he drinks a lot more than most people do. When I see there's a bottle open, I make sure I get my fix because the bottle will be gone if I don't get my glass in there. The other product, hopefully you guys have, is Vinali. You guys have Vinali?
Yes.
Yep.
So Vinali it comes in a little bottle, and it seems like there's not much to it, but it's such a super potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. But it's an anti-inflammatory that's not toxic to the liver, like most anti-inflammatories that people are on, right? And most people who take anti-inflammatories for pain or for other issues, a lot of times abuse them and end up with liver issues. Their liver enzymes get elevated and everything. Vinali is great because it's grapeseed extract, vitamin C, bioflavonoids, grape skin extract. So it's food, it's nutrition. There's nothing toxic about it. And you can super dose it when you're in those acute phases. So any kind of inflammation. So if you sprain your ankle, you literally, for that acute pain or an inflammation that you want to get down, depending on your size, you can take 6, 8, 10, 12 at one time to help deal with that acute inflammation. anyone with allergies or asthma, that's inflammation in the lungs. So I've worked with a lot of people that were on different medications. Of course, they work with their doctor, but they started incorporating Vinali at a higher dose than what it says on the bottle. So maybe taking 6 a day for the first month or 6 weeks to load their body with those antioxidant, anti-inflammatory nutrients that help mitigate that inflammation in the lungs for the allergies and the asthma. And then, like, I know a girl who, gosh, it's probably been 6 years now. When I first met her, she was on 5 different allergy and asthma medications that she started in January to get ready for spring, right here in the States. And she only takes Vinali now as directed on the bottle. She's not on any of those medications. I have another girl who comes over here to ride horses, but she's allergic to horses. So she takes like 6 of them of Vinali before she comes here, like an hour before she comes, and she doesn't have any issues when she's around the horses. So from an inflammation antioxidant standpoint, it's fantastic. And again, it's not toxic to the liver. So I would say if I just had to pick a minimal of products, it would be those 2 products. But the other thing when it comes to pain and inflammation is an acidic body is painful. Right now, she was in an accident, so there's a reason behind it. But we were talking about rheumatoid arthritis, pain when they walk and they move because the body's very acidic. So the program, the Slenderize, the whole program gets the body alkaline as opposed to acidic. An alkaline body is a pain-free body. An acidic body is a painful body. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
And these are just concepts from the Healing Center that I can give to you that are easy to understand. And, just that little bit of education often helps people be able to make miraculous changes because they understand these simple concepts that we should be taught when we're young. We should learn how to take care of our bodies when we're young, but we're not. We don't. We're doing it right here now.